Welcome to a demonstration of the revolutionary Noank Media system for downloading, sharing, and monetizing digital content online. I'll begin introducing you to the Noank system and technology by focusing on the user interface. Note that the interface you are looking at is just a prototype, but it should give you a sense of some of the unique elements and features of the Noank system. Before I take you through the system, I'd like you to first imagine what it would be like to enter a new digital space. This space is an immediately accessible world of unlimited legal content available in high-quality, rapid downloads. Imagine that this new interface also had a full set of social networking features and allowed you to share files, rate media, create mashups, and share your media experiences with friends. And for content owners, imagine that you earn money from your content every time it's enjoyed or shared by a user, and that the system gives you unprecedented data about the use of your content online. That's what we're building at Noank, and it's just the beginning. It's the next generation social media interface, one that no other site's been able to build because they don't have both the social network and the legal media all in one place. Now, what you're looking at here is the Noank Media user interface and our homepage. As you can see, the homepage is not in a typical web browser. It's actually all encompassed in a customized multimedia player. Now, let me introduce some of the social networking features I mentioned a moment ago. This is the user profile page, and this user is named Lily. She's a college student at Tsinghua University in Beijing, and here she's listed some information about herself, her favorite music, favorite videos, favorite artists, and it's all a way of connecting with her friends who you see listed here, and acting as a tastemaker and also making recommendations. Down here she can list her latest downloads as a way to let her friends know what she's been up to. Now this page is Lily's inbox. This is where her friends can send her music and videos and documents that they want to recommend to her. From here she can select and download what she wants. This is incredibly convenient for users and great for copyright owners because only licensed authorized files can be shared through the system this way. Now this page demonstrates a great social networking feature called Groups. It allows people to use media to connect and communicate on a given topic of interest. Lily's interested in intellectual property law, so she's joined this group on intellectual property law in cyberspace, and she can go there to find or recommend the latest articles or videos or lectures on that particular topic. Now here she's also joined a group called English Corner where she can study English with friends. Now I'm going back to the home page to highlight that our service has not just music but also video content, educational content, as well as documents. This makes the Noank service more competitive because it's a one-stop shop, a kind of online superstore for content. In addition, we have key value adds like recommendation technologies and celebrity recommendations. Now, when a user wishes to download a file, she can select the collection in which the file resides, say an album, for example, and then click on the file. Now the file is currently being downloaded to the user's computer, and as you'll see, it appears almost instantaneously. And note that this is a download, not a stream. Noank can achieve download speeds that are generally far faster than illegal peer-to-peer networks can due to Noank's proprietary optimized peer-to-peer architecture. On this page you'll find much more to do than just download music. There are also reviews, user-generated reviews, professional reviews, and other information about the artist and the music, which adds tons of value that the illegal peer-to-peer networks can't. Now maybe Lily's had enough of entertainment for a while and wants some education. She goes into the video section and finds a new Harvard video on a subject that she's very interested in, which is stem cell research. So she goes ahead and downloads that video. Now note that video, because the file sizes are much larger than audio, is a slower download speed, so it'll take a moment longer. But as you can see, it's still a very fast download.
What's going to happen during the next quarter century that's going to be in history books? 200 years from now?
If the last century was about reductionist molecular biology, this century will be about self-renewal and cells.
I had the opportunity to testify.
All right, well, enough of the stem cell video. Let's take a look at the documents section. Here we can find academic articles and ebooks, anything that can be put into a PDF document format. I'm going to download this academic article on licensing on the internet. And there it is, downloads instantaneously and is fully accessible to the user. Note that once any of these files has been downloaded to the user's computer, they stay with the user forever. The user gets to keep them. But that's not the end of the story, especially from the content owner's perspective. Noank will continue to count all plays of those files, and the content owner will be able to remonetize the files over and over into the future. Noank has an important counting technology that's installed on each one of its users' computers. What you're looking at here is an interface that will give us a window into this counting technology that's happening in the background. That interface you're seeing now will not actually be seen by any users or installed on any users' computers. Now, let's go into the library here in our player and select a song. Now we'll show how this song is being recognized and tracked by our proprietary counting technology. As you can see, the song has already been fingerprinted by our client software. The farther along the song gets, the zeros here will flip to ones just above my cursor. So this allows us to count not only whether a file has been played, but what percentage of the file has been played and which parts of the file have been played. Okay, I'm going to close out of our player and show that this technology doesn't only work with our player, it works with absolutely any player that the user may be using to ensure that we get the most accurate count possible in order to divide the pool of money to copyright owners. So I've now opened Windows Media Player. I'm playing the file in Windows Media Player, and as you can see, just like last time in our player, the file has been recognized, it's fingerprinted, and we are now tracking the progress of that file. Again, you can see that as the file progresses, the zeros change to ones. Now what happens if I grab this and move it to about the middle of the song? Well, you'll notice here that we can track that as well. We can track that a large portion of the song was skipped and that in a moment here it will catch up, and as you can see, now the zeros in the middle of the song are flipping to ones, indicating that we've not only tracked that the song has been played, but which portions of the song are being played. I'm going to move this all the way to the end now and show that as the file finishes, we've actually tracked that we've listened to the song in 3 discrete locations at the beginning, middle, and end, and you'll see momentarily that the zeros at the end of the song will flip to ones. There we go. I've closed it out, and now these songs have dropped down into the queue here, and I'm going to send them up to our Noank server. As I mentioned, this interface is only for demo purposes and won't be used on the user's computer, so sending the usage information up to our servers will happen automatically in the background. It's not something the user will do manually. Now what we're looking at here is a prototype of what content owners will see when they log into our system to check the progress of their files being used on the network. So here a content owner has logged in for the song that we just played and can see statistics not only about how frequently a file was played, but up to what percentage of the file was played, what portions of the file were played, and so on. Now this interface will be considerably improved when we launch and be more functional and attractive for copyright owners. The reason we collect this usage information is because, according to our business model, we collect a large pool of revenue which we split up among content owners. And we have to know how to split that up. We have to know whose content is most popular in a given period of time. And the best way to tell that is to collect very detailed usage data. But another huge benefit of collecting this data is that it's really revolutionary from the content owner's perspective in terms of understanding how their content is being used, where it's being used geographically, whether people are turning off a film or a song after a certain period of time, say after the introduction, or in the case of a song, after the first 30 seconds or the first chorus. So again, this kind of information is absolutely invaluable, and content owners have never had an opportunity to get information of this kind and this much detail about the usage habits of their consumers, and especially their consumers online. A final point I'd like to make is that we take users' privacy very seriously. So we will not reveal the information about the users whose data we are collecting. And in fact, we don't collect individual information about any of the users. We only collect aggregate information about content usage. So we can tell that a song was consumed this many times in a given period of time, and we can even tell geographically where that was, but we won't know the individuals who actually consumed it. And we feel that's a very important part of this model so that we can build the trust with our end users. I'd like to wrap up this demo with a preview of the user interface that we are currently localizing for the China market. As I mentioned earlier, the user interface you saw in this demo was just a prototype user interface and not meant to be a production version that will end up on users' computers in the China market. What you're seeing now is the user interface being designed for our launch in Chinese universities in October this year. Thanks very much for your interest in this revolutionary company and service.